Welcome to the King of Racing YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be talking about my picks and the preview for the Smarty Jones Stakes at Oaklawn Park this weekend. So without further ado, here are my 14 horses that I'm going to discuss that are all the runners in this race, and I'm going to talk about which one I think is going to win. Number one in the Smarty Jones Stakes at Oaklawn Park is going to be Dash Attack out of Kentucky. He's raced once in his career, first place at Oaklawn Park, maiden special weight, so he's a little bit experienced running at this track before, trained by Kenneth McPeak and ridden by David Cohen. $55,000 brought in this year in that one race. That was a $105,000 maiden claiming race, or maiden special weight, and did really well in that one. 84 E-speed figure, beat out all the other horses, race 7 at Oaklawn Park, and he's going back to Oaklawn Park for this one. So look for Dash Attack. I think Dash Attack is definitely a contender for this race. Number 2 is All in Sync, ridden by Ricardo Santana Jr. and trained by Steven Asmussen. Most recently, first place at Churchill Downs maiden special weight, and that was November 25th. A month before that, second place at Keeneland maiden special weight. So it took him 2 starts to get the first place out of the maiden special weight, which is not a long time. $86,000 brought in those 2 starts. So you got second place going to first place, and he's gaining 10 on the E-speed. So I think All in Sync is a contender. A horse that I would look to be potentially placing a wager on in this race coming up because he has shown that he can compete with this level of horse. Number 3 is my favorite for the race, Homebrew, ridden by Florence Giroux and trained by Brad Cox. Most recently, first place allowance optional claiming, so racing with some of the older horses at Oaklawn Park on December 4th, and then before that, second place allowance at Churchill Downs coming straight out of the first place maiden special weight at Laurel Park on September 10th. So this horse is basically racing every month. He's brought in $113,000 this year in 3 starts, 2 first place finishes. He's the morning line favorite and 1 second place finish. So Homebrew is the horse to beat. He has won 2 out of 3 in his career. He's only improving, and he's running at a pretty high level, I would say, for a horse of his age. So Homebrew is the horse to beat for this race. Number 4 is Kavad, ridden by Francisco Arrieta and trained by Chris Hartman. First place in the Advent Stakes at Oaklawn Park, 91 E-speed figure, going up from 84, about 7 points there. And then first place at Churchill Downs on November 20th. 9 starts in 2021, 3 first place finishes and 1 second place finish. Most recently, the recent 2 finishes were both first place. $243,000 brought in this year, so maybe a little bit inconsistent considering he's only 3 wins in 9 starts. However, he's 2 for 2 in his 2 most recent starts, so look for this horse to be a contender. Number 5 is Ignitus out of Kentucky, ridden by Luis Contreras and trained by Dwayne Lucas. $90,000 this year, most recently 6th place at Churchill Downs. And that was in the Shively Stakes, and right before that, first place maiden special weight and third place maiden special weight at Churchill Downs. So over time, slowly increasing the E-speed, but only ever hit 83 in that 6th place finish at Churchill Downs on November 27th. So Ignitus, I don't think is really a serious contender for this race. Euro is the number 6, ridden by David Cabrera and trained by Ron Moquette. $21,000 this year, so bringing in pretty cheap since he's been racing at Remington Park. 4th place maiden special weight on October 27th with a 49 E-speed figure going up to 74 at a first place finish at maiden special weight at Remington Park, but pretty slow, especially compared to some of the older horses in this race, and not a lot of money brought in. So, I mean, maybe he could be a little bit of a sleeper, but didn't race against the best horses in those maiden special weight races, despite coming in first place. So this horse, it wouldn't be a huge shock if he wins, but I don't really think he's a top contender. Next up, number 7, Rugs out of Florida, ridden by Julien Lepereau and trained by Ron Moquette. Most recently, 4th place in the Advent Stakes at Oaklawn Park. So experienced running at this track, but only 4th place in that listed stakes race. An increase in the E-speed from 69 to 82 from that maiden special weight first place finish at Remington Park. But over the course of the year, only about $27,000 brought in those 2 starts. So I don't think this horse has been going up against the best competition, particularly racing at Remington Park and Oaklawn Park. So I'm going to rule out Ruggs as a contender. Son of Gunrunner, however. Vivar is the number 8, and most recently came in 6th place at the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes Grade 2 race at Churchill Downs. I do not like to see that. That was a drop in performance level. I would have been really excited about this horse going into The Kentucky Jockey Club race, you have first place maiden special weight at the Kentucky Downs in September 5th while it was open. And then you have October 29th at Keeneland. You got another first place allowance race there, and an increase over time in e-speed, but only topping out at 80 in that sixth place finish at Churchill Downs race number 11 on the card that day. $138,000 brought in 2021, a little bit on the higher side, but that decline in performance leads me to believe that I'm going to rule out Vivar as a winner for this race. Don't Cross the Devil is the number 9, trained by Philip D'Amato and ridden by Lane Lucy. $39,000 this year, 2 for 2 in 2 starts. One at Remington Park, first place, maiden special weight, going from 57 to 89 e-speed in the next race, allowance at Remington Park on November 30th. So a little bit of a while layoff, maybe about a month. And $39,000 for this horse. So again, not a top contender, but I'm not going to be surprised simply because of you have the Remington Park, the low purse levels. I'm not really sure about the level this horse was racing against, but hey, can't get any worse than or can't get any better than 2 for 2, 2 first place finishes. So he's doing well with what he's been given. Maybe a little bit on the slower side in that maiden special weight, but that's not a huge issue. Next up is Barber Road out of Kentucky, ridden by Raylu Gutierrez and trained by John Alexander Ortiz. $100,000 in 2021, most recently second place at Churchill Downs on November 27th. That was the Lively Shively Stakes, going from first place to second place, but an e-speed figure of 84 to 95 from start to start. You have the starter allowance on November 10th, short layoff, only 17 days for Churchill Downs, and still did pretty decent coming in second place there. So I would put this horse towards the top of my board as a contender to win this race. $100,000 brought in 4 starts. Not too bad, $25,000 per start. Next up is Kairama, trained by Steven Asmussen and ridden by Giovanni Franco. And $70,000 brought in this year. 3 starts, 1 first place, 1 third place. Most recently, 3rd place at the Advent Stakes at Oaklawn Park. And right before that, a 5th place at the Nashua Stakes, grade 3 race at Belmont Park with only a 75 e-speed figure. So $70,000 brought in 3 starts. That's a little on the higher end for how this horse isn't doing the best he could be doing. But I don't know. I don't really think this horse is going to be towards the top of the board. Next is Cool Papa G from Kentucky, $85,000 in 2021, 91 e-speed figure, coming in third place at the Lively Shively Stakes at Churchill Downs, and right before that, 3rd place at Keeneland on the allowance optional claiming race. So staying pretty consistent in his finish, increasing his speed a little bit, but it could be a little better. It's not really going to cut it against some of the top horses in this race. Immoral was the number 13, ridden by Tiago Pereira and trained by Michael Puhich. And basically first place at maiden special weight Charlestown, and that was on November 11th. And first place there, 67 e-speed figure. Maybe not against the best competition, only $17,000 brought in that race, but he's a son of Into Mischief, and he is 1 for 1, so couldn't be any better for the situation he was given running at Charlestown. And he could be, one of these horses that surprised. There's not a lot of data on him, but I'm not going to really expect it because there's just some better horses out there, but not a bad horse. And finally, number 14, Ben Diesel. We got $88,000 in 2 starts. First place, maiden special weight, probably $105K at Churchill Downs on October 31st. And then November 27th, Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes, grade 2 race at Churchill Downs. Came in 4th place there, so a decline in the performance level, but an increase in speed from 81 to 86. So the speed is potentially a good thing. However, running against similar types of horses in the Kentucky Jockey Club race, he just wasn't able to really cut it. So I'm not putting this horse towards the top of my board for this race. Thank you for watching my video. I ask that you please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment below who you think is going to win the Smarty Jones Stakes at Oaklawn Park this coming weekend.